Marlowe introduced Bill to the infamous Billy, working the door, whose model's chin Picasso often painted. "Meet Bill," he said to Billy. "Bill is a billionaire." Marlowe had been waiting all night to say that. The button was off Bill's shirt, Billy's dossier. Billy on fashion magazines, the chin famous round the world, then trouble with the teeth, and some unsavory misunderstandings. Billy chainsawing the Franz Klein fruit bat walls behind Club Bonga's bars to ship them off. Billy selling a treasure map to mobsters, the location of pickle jars filled with $10,000 bills John D. Rock Jr. was known to bury. Billy snaps the button in midair. On the floor goes the button. Down comes Billy's foot. No buttons in Tiki Town. No hard feelings. Billionaire Bill had more. Marlowe had always liked Billy. He handed Billy the card with Mr. Boots. Billy examined it with a seasoned eye and took the billionaire by the arm to show him some Picasso sketches in the back room. Bill was the billionaire, but Billy was clearly in charge. Before he disappeared, Marlowe asked Billy if Smarty was around. Yes and no, like always, was the response. Billy spoke like a smitten initiate, but with a subtle undertone that implied danger. Marlowe noted multiple beefy men in body paint and loincloths, looking to the world like devotees of the palm god, but the spears and earpieces suggested heightened security. That higher note, and that higher note still. Duke Ellington ringing in his ears. The party got wilder and wilder, and finally Marlowe stepped out for air. An hour or so had passed, and no sign of Bill or Billy. There was a crap game going on. Sinatra as Nathan Detroit and Fat Brando. His radio parts must not have arrived. Still, only toweled in a sarong, acting more Mr. Kurtz than Sky Masterson. Also there, French favorites Louis Malle and Francois Truffaut. Not in the game, Max Ophuls next to Anna Karenina, once married to Godard, wearing a pin-plaid skirt. Max says, "The highest reaches of the actor's art begin at the point where words cease to play a part." Anna Karenina smiles at Max Ophuls, but goes for Frank, asks about Ava and Mia. Frank sings, "Each place I go, only the lonely know. Each song I dream, only the lonely dream." Marlowe thinks the visible subtitles interesting in Japanese. Then he hears, "Put the blame on Mame, boy. Put the blame on Mame." It's Rita, in from Montevideo, where, years earlier, she'd once had a fling with Sam Bunny. Oh, did it always have to go so wrong, she sings. Sam and Lester were there in 1946 after the war. When Rita did place the blame on Mame and Gilda, it was Lester who showed her how to take off and put on the gloves, acted the whole routine for her. She said Lester was much sexier than she. Then she said to Marlowe, "Ever marry a redhead?" That's what I asked Sam. And it was hop, 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 oh, trouble in the bubble bath. Back inside, Marlowe says, after seeing through some writer's lenses, he couldn't see the world any other way. Oscar Wilde made London, London. A man who calls a spade deserves to use one. Henry Miller made Paris, Hemingway, Spain, Isherwood, Berlin, Chandler, Los Angeles, Mom, Singapore, Burroughs, Tangiers, Dorothy Parker, Manhattan. Oh, the silk and the satin. This he was saying to Rainer Werner Fassbinder, engine of the new German cinema, who, although his career lasted less than 2 decades, had completed 40 feature films. Some say he worked himself to death. Marlowe asks about his last film, Kyrielle, if Genet, whose book he had adapted, liked it. Fassbinder says, Genet didn't see it. He couldn't smoke in movie houses. Then Marlowe shifts to Fassbinder's original topic, Oscar Wilde. Perhaps Jean Moreau's rendition of Each Man Kills the Thing He Loves, lyrics from The Ballad of Reading Jail, performed in Curiel, was still in his mind, which critics said was dog vomit awful. Fassbinder animates. Dorian Gray, poisoned by a book, purchased no less than 9 original editions and had them bound in different colors to suit his moods. The life of a young Parisian who inhabited every time but his own, in search of rare sensations and pleasures. Trop de zèle, trop d'audace, too daring, too bold. The mere cadence of the sentences, the subtle monotony of their music. Oh, Kotze. Puke. Dorian was a dope. Oscar's type, not mine. My focus is Basil Hallward, not dead, but in San Francisco, his past annihilated even as the moon hangs low in the sky like a yellow skull. We open at Sotheby's, a smitten being bid upon, some whisper looted from the trophy room at the Royal Bonga. Dada meets Idi Amin Dada. It sells on the high end to a call-in bidder. The next painting goes for an even more stratospheric price. The picture of Dorian Gray. Cut to me. I play Hallward. Add depth to his extravagant panegyrics, his curious reticence, and wear leather. I'm in an alley. The dawn, with silver sandal feet, crept like a frightened girl. But I'm not scared. I must gratify secret longings. Some whisper about me, say I never sleep. At bottom, I am an artist getting to the bottom of my art. The rain stops. I take pictures I will later paint from. My reflection in black water. I paint my own portrait, which will age while I stay young. Fassbinder takes from a pocket a pair of gold Gucci sunglasses, models them, says, symbolic of I know not what, but the gold's good with the black coat. Marlowe says, those are Smarty's glasses. Smarty got them in St. Bart's. That was a party. Fassbinder says, that's it then, symbolic of art smitten. Then back to himself. My face in profile reflected, and on the alley wall, Mr. Boots, lost reward. What echoes in Marlowe's head, art smitten, a smitten joke. That's what you do, Marlowe, you chase phantoms. Marlowe thinks of Duchamp. The viewer is necessary to complete the work. Was he the designated viewer? Or was Smarty in trouble? What was on the up and up and what was the low down? You never knew in Tiki Town. Like they say, it's Tiki Town, Jake.